Let's go ahead and check our study guide. Remember on this first one here, a negative times a positive is going to give me a negative answer. So I'm going to put that negative sign there so I don't forget. I'm going to ignore those decimals and just write my multiplication problem down here. Once I multiply, I get 55.62. Now I got to add that decimal back in. So remember, I'm going to count my decimal places. 1, 2 places. So I'm starting at the end of my number. I'm going to move it once, twice. So my answer is a negative 55.62. So again, here I have a negative times a positive, so I know my answer needs to be negative. I'm going to ignore those decimals and just go ahead and multiply. When I start my second row, I'm going to add a 0, and then I can go ahead and multiply my second row. 35, 39 again. And I'm going to add my 2 rows together. Once I'm here, now I'm going to add that decimal back in. So I'm going to count my decimal places. 1, 2 places. I start at the end once, twice. So I get negative. What's your final answer? 42 and 90 hundredths, or you could also say negative 42 and 9/10. Remember, these are the same thing. This is like the simplified version. Now my next one, a negative times a negative, my answer is positive. So go ahead and multiply these two together. Once I get my final answer, where does my decimal go here? Again, we move it once, twice. So start the end of your number here, once, twice. So my final answer is a positive 11 76/100ths. Now, don't be thrown off by this next one. It looks pretty simple, right? So you're just doing 9 times 1 is 9, and then I need to add my decimal back in 2 places. So my decimal's still at the end of my number. I move it once, twice, and I add a 0 in there. So now my decimal is here. So your final answer would be a negative 0.09, negative 9/100ths. Now let's move on to multiplying our fractions. Remember, under my whole number, what can I put to make it into a fraction? A 1. So now I'm just going to go ahead and multiply. And it doesn't matter where you put that negative sign, as long as you only have 1. Once we're here, now turn it into a mixed number. So go ahead and divide. 5 goes into 36 7 times. And I get 7 1/5. Don't forget, your final answer needs to be negative. Okay, let's take a look at this next one. When you multiplied negative 7/6 times 2/5, what did you get here? You should have gotten negative 12/35, and remember, that's as simplified as it goes, so you're done on that one. My next one, when you have a mixed number, what do you have to do first? Turn it into an improper fraction, then you can do your multiplication. And then once I'm here, I need to give my answers a mixed number in simplest form, so I need to divide. So it goes in 11 times. Oops, not 11 times. It goes in 16 times. And 1/2 is left over. And what am I missing here on my answer? The negative sign. Let's practice dividing. Remember, my second guy is late to class. He goes outside. My first one is on time. He gets to go inside so he doesn't get chilly. Remember though, I need to move that decimal out of my divisor. So I'm going to move it over. And whatever I do to one side, I need to do to the other. So now I have 2 divided by 8/10. That goes in 4 times, but remember, if I had a decimal here, I've got to put it up top and add my 0. And what do we know about our answer? It must be negative. Let's go ahead and try my next one. This one I'm dividing a whole number, so I don't need to worry about moving any decimals. And I know a negative times a negative equals a positive. So here, I'm going to go ahead and divide. Now remember, if I have a decimal, I need to put my decimal up top. I bring my 6 down. 7 goes into 56 8 times. So my answer would be 4.8. Let's try our next one. Tell me what you got when you divided. So remember, first we need to move that decimal, So it becomes 3 divided by 1.8. What did you get for this one? You should have gotten 0.6, and we know our answer's positive. There. Let's check the next one. Again, I'm going to move that decimal, move the decimal. So 3 divided by 1.5 goes in 5 times. And this one, I know my answer is negative here. Okay, my next one, under my whole number, I'm going to put that 1, and I need to make my mixed number into an improper fraction. So now whenever we divide fractions, we use keep, change, flip. So I'm going to keep my first one, change it to multiplication, flip my sign. Now I can just go ahead and multiply and then divide. So 11 goes into 33. It's not 33, it's supposed to be 32. Let me fix that there. So it goes in 2 times. And we're left with 10 11ths. Don't forget your negative. Okay, let's check the next one. Negative 5/8, and I'm going to flip. Now I'm going to go ahead and multiply. Put in what you got when you turn this into your mixed number. 16 divided by 25. You should have gotten 1 9/16, and don't forget your answer's negative. Let's check the next one. I'm going to keep, change, flip, and then multiply, and then I need to simplify. Tell me, what did this simplify to? You should have gotten -1/12 for your final answer. Okay, let's take a look at our next one here. So I first need to multiply before I add. So if you remember when we did our PEMDAS, you can kind of do the multiplication over on the side. So once I have my negative and my negative here, I know my answer is going to be a bigger negative. So I'm going to add those up here and keep my negative sign. This would be my final answer for number 7. For number 8, I'm multiplying 3.7 times 4,500, so I'm going to ignore those signs and just go ahead and multiply. Once I get my answer here, now I'm going to add that decimal back in. 1, 2, 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3 spaces. So your final answer should be 1.665. And for number 9, remember the slash means divide. So here you're dividing 9 divided by 0.45. So remember though, before I put that 45 on the outside, I need to move that decimal 2 places over. And then since I'm moving it 2 places over, I gotta do the same for the 9. So remember, I fill in the gaps with zeros. So it's really like you're doing 45 divided by 900. So now I can go ahead and divide, and it would go in 20 times here. Let's take a look at our last one. If Maggie has a shelf that's 9 3/4 inches long, if each book is 3/8 of an inch wide, how many books will fit on the shelf? What operation do you need to do? Divide. So we're taking 9 3/4 and dividing it by 3/8. So turn this into your improper fraction. 36, 39/4. And then I'm going to change this to multiplication. Remember, you're able to simplify on your diagonals if you like to, so that might make this one easier. 4 divided by 4 is going to give me 1 here, and then 8 divided by 4 gives me 2. So I'm going to rewrite it simplified first. You didn't have to do this step. So now I'm just going to do 39 times 2, which would give me 78. And then I do 3 divided by 78 here. And I'm going to get 26. So my answer, how many books would fit on the shelf? 26 books would fit on the shelf. Thanks for watching. Now go ahead and start on your math space. Tell Mrs. Feynman your homework for tonight is math space to get ready for your test tomorrow. Thanks for watching.